worker, supervisor, and authority relation. Explain why employees are the firm's main asset. Describe the role of human resource of any organization. Explain the relationship between employees and motivation. Explain the value of appraising an employee. Describe the concept, atmosphere governing the workplace positive. Workers are employees of an organization. They are the assets which any company likes to retain in order to maintain the harmony and flow in the work of the organization. Employees are the necessity right off the bat, and it is impossible to run any business single-handed without the employees. Any business has the requirement for more employees in comparison to any other retail opening. The marketing plan is a key function for marketing-oriented organizations, and it is a process where the researcher analyzes the whole market with respect to its size, trends, profit sharing, competitors, availability of substitutes, procurement of raw materials, etc. The role of HRM in business management in India has been significantly increased during the last 2 decades. Together, by the method of internationalization and the growth of value, and in addition to a leaning just before attaining a high efficiency through lower charges, human resources got a middle position in tactical trade. The assortment of human resources is and existing forms of HRM with a resubmission of the real position of human resources management in nationwide atmosphere. As of this viewpoint, it is apparent that organizations, along with this investment and expertise, have to enjoy reliable workers in regards to making sure its endurance in extremely spirited and is in active atmosphere. Any strategic requirements of a company must complement through planned human resources management by proficient service of human resources. While a corporation comes in as a combined worldwide trade, the attentions of every associate encompass to be included within the planned and equipped strategies. Planned approach to human resources as well entails savings in human resources, since a huge part of individual capital is decided through information and abilities that human beings expand. Information and abilities very much affected the productivity of workers, so the input of enduring learning for growth of the economy of a nation and organizations is significant and can guide to the attainment of financial and communal goals. Historical job of human resources management in assuring firms has customized due to transforms at global prospect and have developed for the position of a planned associate. Employees, the main asset of the organization. There is a main task performed by the human resources management of any organization, and this can be a support to the organizations to achieve the victory of their operations mission in choosing, teaching and inspiring the true employees for the business. Humans are a corporation's supreme advantages. Without human resource management, daily trade tasks could not be fulfilled. It fully depends on human resource management that how the employees are handled in companies. Human resource management is liable for carrying workers inside the firm, supporting them complete their effort, reimbursing them for their works, and cracking difficulties that occur. A department of human resource of any organization must perform the following 7 administration roles: training and development, performance appraisals, compensation and benefits, employee and labor relations, staffing, safety and health, and human research. There is a whole marketplace affected by the recession, yet the job marketplace and function of human resource management has to vary their small period precedence to build the business spirited yet again. The role of human resource management might perform the SWOT analysis of the present situation of the company in the marketplace and how this position can be modified. The role of human resource management cannot remain their human resource typecasts for an extended time of the moment because the firm will be perceived like a stiff. The outside marketplace will observe it earlier than the interior workers. Other than to carrying a fresh human resource management role facet in like circumstances is a task not possible. The role of human resource management has to locate data related to the market, rivalry and the greatest perform in the region. The role of human resource management has to commence the correct slump plans, and the SWOT analysis is a superior opening position. The staff of human resource management must live by the chief human resource processes and recognize its strengths and weaknesses. Also, the chances can be acknowledged and they can be a main resource of the prospect, esteemed additional of the HR to the corporation. The ineffective prices can also be identified by the SWOT analysis that can be abandoned, and the workers and outside players will not identify it. The role of human resource management is not always ideal in the correct allotment of prices to the correct schemes. The SWOT analysis can be seen as an extremely potent instrument that can keep a bundle of time exhausted throughout the conversations. The SWOT analysis is speedy and it simply recognizes the competitive gain for the collapse. The role of human resource management must be easy, like the workers and executives have an opportunity to comprehend the fundamentals of human resources rapidly. When they interpret its human resources strategies and processes of human resources, they can a fully diverse image. The strategies of human resources are not easy. These policies are extremely confused because they attempt to answer all latent matter throughout the everyday life of trade. The experts of human resources attempt to explain the lot in the strategies of human resources. HRM does not want to contain a lot of classes and materials by the executives and workers, and HR endeavor to explain any possible omission in the strategies of human resources. Sincerely, the strategies of human resources are concerned a bunch of exemptions, and the workers and administrators are not talented to discover the usual route depicted in the plan. Because the functions of human resource management are not certain regarding their location in the company, the strategies of human resources are written and dignified in the safe mode. Therefore, human resource permits having a small common method explanation, the objective of the rule, and after that an extensive explanation of every exclusions which can happen. The easy rules of human resources are the obvious symbol of the positive human resources. The functions of human resource department do not require to include a rule after, and this is sure to offer a better clarification to executives and workers which is received then the strategies of human resources are not required at all. The experts of human resources have not fretted in relation to its compromise and arrangement abilities. When the executives comprehend the standard at the back of the rules of human resources, executives can admit it and they can pursue the strategies of human resources employing a general vision. HR has no remembrance to consider whole features of the strategy. They require an essential principle, and when the exclusion happens, they can discuss through the function of human resource management regarding it. The policies of human resource have to be easy. The workers require an essential routing, and the worker can forever request for the data when workers require need. While their associates inquire them regarding perform in their corporation, they can give details about a normal story. Workers are not talented to converse in relation to tons of situations to be achieved previous until they are getting into report. Relationship between employees and motivation. Motivation is the interior method, a creature that strengthens traits and continues performance. Motivation is an individual power that reasons one to perform in an exacting manner. Mainly frequently, it is the phrase employed to clarify manners of individuals. According to the winning executives, they are extremely inspired. A manager of the squad who circumvents job is understood to be uninspired. Inspiration is connected with confidence. Confidence is the worker's reaction headed for their work, greater and the compact their self. Highest outcomes of spirits happen principally through the fulfillment of requiring on the work or because an outcome of the work. Good confidence guides to devotion and faithfulness with the need to perform a work well. Small confidence can escort to inferior job, absence and elevated charges of revenue. The victory of every company depends mainly on the inspiration of the workers. Human resources management is necessary to the affluence, efficiency and presentation of every business. Inspiration is the input to making an atmosphere where best presentation is probable. How does human resource management make sure that person inspiration is at their crest inside its workplace? All individual has its personal set of inspirations and own motivations to perform solid or not because the issue might be. A few are inspired by respect even as added are inspired through cash incentives. Worker incentive plans leave an extended mode regarding considering workers' experience respected and valuable. This only can facilitate through worker inspiration transversely embark. The enormous obsession regarding these plans is they are extremely personalized. That is, HRM modify its plans to outfit requires and desires of its workers. Inducement plans boost inspiration as they are not simply cheering creative recital but as well explain workers the corporation concerns. Possibly the majority important effect on enlarged worker motivation is that of enlarged efficiency. This is a middle objective when accepting an incentive plan. If HRM can amplify motivation of worker, efficiency will pursue and through that the predictable amplified base row. Worker incentive series endorse job place agreement, worker recital and mainly of every worker inspiration. This is the significant input to achieve durable advantages for their business. Motivated workers signify employees' preservation and corporation devotion. These are the stuff that will contain an important effect on the expansion and growth of their trade. Worker incentive plans employment through providing prizes for the wonderful task performed by them, solid performance or outcomes. Workers who assemble goals leave past entitlements of responsibility or clearly perform a good quality work or recompensed for their endeavors. Worker motivation agendas employment as they suggest varied prizes that assemble all requires of the business in regards to increase worker inspiration via worker incentives is the most effective to argue the plan with workers. Expand few moments shaping out what their workers desire out of an inducement plan. If employees get the instance to perform these, then employees will be capable to execute a plan supported on the personalized requires of its workers. A characteristic shape complete plan will amplify worker inspiration and then revolve their turnovers. Motivation of worker is necessary to the accomplishment of every organization, large or small. In the modern age workplace, human resource management is stimulating above all further. Inspired workers are creative, pleased and dedicated. The follow-up of this comprises decreased employee turnover, results driven employees, company loyalty and workplace agreement. Motivating the best workers is the capability to perceive schemes by its achievement. Identify that all workers engaged in the power of work must be talented to notice the completed creation formally it is complete and expand a considerate of his or her significance in the mission because a complete. In accumulation, An inspiring work atmosphere should be one in which workers are handled nicely, but there is no issue what stage of contribution an exacting employee has in connection to the company procedures. It is necessary for an executive to provide every worker wisdom of performing a forceful, essential task in something a great deal. Certainly, stimulating reliability is an enter component of inspiring employees and thus raising the largely efficiency of processes. Value of praising an employee makes wonders happen. Praise is a most effective motivating tool for the workers. Useful assignment executives should take the lesson that how to grow this commanding technique of employee inspiration. Whereas frequently times mainly disregard through executives in the workplace, this can be a highly practical technique of providing a worker a sagacity of value in regards to the real job being completed. In adding up to praise, a further vital aspect comprises establishing objectives that communicate to the real job being completed. Practical goals are capable to make certain that the appropriateness and job value merge and that the worker can immobile sense and ready for the subsequent mission once the unique one has been accomplished. Making disciplinary guidelines are furthermore helpful to develop a job atmosphere that is created. Finally, inspiration does not forever contain to be helpful. If employees are not appearance through outcomes for deprived recital, then efficiency edges can simply get smaller at an overwhelming price. Whereas everyone's inferior terror is that they will mislay its work, individual of an executive's nastiest dreads is that he will mislay costly aptitude. In its place of leasing workers, leave whose strength probability revolve approximately and do best in the correct situations, and executives should be imagined as it approaches identifying extra methods to punish employees who carrying downward efficiency. Normally, nevertheless, the cost of effects is not established by applying them other than in creating them, therefore, that the performances that would eventually need its execution clearly do not happen. It must furthermore be stated that an executive will desire to center his employees mainly an optimistic strengthening atmosphere governing the workplace. In adding up to a good state of communic and individual inspiration in the office, the real body explain of a workplace is exceptionally vital when it approaches increasing efficiency. Whereas a lot of executives and company proprietors select to be enough, though a sure last stage of workplace trimmings, they can be disregarding what can quantity to a main barrier on the pathway to growing worker efficiency. Certify that excellence workers provide a workplace that workers may describe their personal. Whether it has a workplace, compartment or still a counter in unbolt room, there must be a good rank of significance position on supporting employees encourages wisdom of set in their corporation. Together with this position, workplace executives must consider that tools is ergonometric and resonance. Certainly, it has been identified that a creative job atmosphere needs supervision that is talented to confidently inspire their workers in an infrastructure that is acquiescent to workers' requires. The motivation of workers is possibly the major driver of organizational presentation. Eventually, any company's means differentiator is from their person advantages in further stating their workers. While methods, procedures and infrastructures can be initiated through one business to new business, individual assets cannot. A business which is capable to inspire their workers and keep up its capable to power it is constraint and enthusiasm in regards to making sure stellar performance. Worker inspiration and worker efficiency can be difficult. HRM must still administer community explain because the abilities other than they now live throughout the moments of presenting up and performing the exposed lowest. What can be an occurrence in the over situation is that these brilliant, talented workers are inspired to roll up at the workplace and perform like small because probable, not including receiving passionate. Worker inspiration starts through considering that inside all persons there is a central force that requires action. In further words, everybody has inspired. There is one query that might always happen through the over description is, if inspiration approaches through insight, does that signify worker motivation and efficiency is not probable by few people? That is a good query. Let's get a nearer appear at worker inspiration and efficiency and how they can acquire extra of the employee. The beginning point is in ensuring that every of them have desires in main living parts like as monetary, fitness, connections and trade or career, religious and leisure. Their idea in those regions and their drive to completing them is what resolves their inspiration and efficiency. When there is a space among where workers are and where workers desires to be, central force jerks in to in some way shut the space. If a company holder focal pointed on everyday actions, inspiring their workers may be quite low on their priority scale. Other than an inspired employee is a creative workforce and without inducements, their top workers could go for additional pleasing attempts. Making a workplace atmosphere in which workers are creative is necessary to enhance earnings for its business, company or small company. Standards of administration that state how precisely to exploit worker efficiency middle approximately two main sectors of focal point: individual inspiration and the infrastructure of the work atmosphere. One of the main aspects in influencing human resources to create the mainly is established during motivational enticements. While the mainly clear motivation for rising worker efficiency is frequently considered being supported on wage and endorsements, this is not forever the case. Actuality, current consideration of the accurate character of best HRM has completed that in a huge amount of cases, wages have less to do among inspiration than accomplish further significant aspects.